Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78 at the famous Studebaker Theater right here in downtown Chicago. I'm going to talk to somebody, fascinating story, the voice of the Cubs at Wrigley Field. You know his voice, you've heard him before. He's putting on a talk show, Jeremiah Paprocki. Talk show's happening inside of Studebaker. So let's go talk to him now for this story from the 78. All right, so you're looking inside the beautiful Studebaker Theater here at the Fine Arts Building in Chicago. And I'm here with my friend Jeremiah. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, I gotta say, if folks who don't know you by name, Jeremiah Paprocki, maybe they'll know you by the pipes. Why don't you
That's true.
give me a little something maybe people will know you by real quick.
Welcome to baseball at the federal landmark, Wrigley Field.
Yeah, that never will get old for me. So you've been doing the PA announcing at Wrigley Field since 2021.
21.
Yes.
So this season will be my fourth season with the Cubs. I'm the public address announcer, or voice of Wrigley Field for short, or easier to remember.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm having a blast doing that as well. It's a fun gig.
Yeah, and before we get started, what we're doing at the Studebaker, I mean, we have to talk about the accomplishment that is just being the first black announcer in Major League Baseball. Your microphone's enshrined at Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, the youngest PA announcer in Wrigley Field history, which is Cubs history.
Yeah.
That's an incredible accomplishment at such a young age.
It is. It is. It's a lot of accomplishments at a young age, but I've always had that hard hustle and drive at a young age as well too. I started announcing as a sophomore in high school at age 14.
That's incredible.
So just that drive kind of helped me get to where I am at an early age. And
it was morning announcements, right?
yeah, morning announcements, and I did our sports teams at our school as well too. So basketball, I did a couple softball games as well too. So just the drive to do the games, announce as much as possible, and it worked out.
And by chance, a Facebook group is how you kind of found out about it, or some people found out and said, hey, you should try do this Cubs thing. You'd be perfect for it. And it kind of fell into place, right?
A Facebook message, yes.
Facebook message, my bad.
So Greg Gardner, shout out to Greg Gardner, he's the PA announcer for the Sky. He actually sent me the link for the Cubs job. So on Messenger, he sent the link. He said, hey man, the job's open. I was in Miami for spring break. And I was like, okay.
As you should be.
Yeah, exactly, you know, enjoy the times. And so I went out and I was like, I was about to go to the beach, and I saw the link, and I was like, okay, it's time to get serious. No beach now, forget it. We got bigger things to do here. So I took a random lineup off of Twitter. I was on the trip with my mom. I had her record in the hotel room that we were in, and the rest is history.
Offer you the job as the next PA announcer at Wrigley Field.
Wow.
That's incredible. And you've seen some of the Cubbies in their through COVID times, and now you're seeing this rebuild. Hopefully it'll be a fun season of you calling the games at Wrigley Field from a PA standpoint. But we're talking about something completely different for you. This is not your first foray into the late night talk show circuit, which is what you're doing here at the Studebaker.
Yes.
You've done this before, prior to the pandemic, right?
Correct. So right before the pandemic, I'll backtrack a little bit so it makes sense. 2019, I went on another spring break trip, but this time to LA.
Got to get all the coasts in.
Yeah, you know, East Coast, West Coast.
Sure.
But on the West Coast in 2019 in LA, I got to see Jimmy Kimmel live. I was a part of the live studio audience experience. And going through that whole process, you get to see production at its finest, the band at work, the warm-up comic, then when Kimmel comes out, and then the celebrities are out there, and it was such an amazing experience. And I took it in and I was like, how can I make this me? How can I do it myself? And at the time, being at college, I was like, well, the perfect way to work up is to make a club out of it. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna start a late night talk show for UIC, because I went to the University of Illinois at Chicago, and we called it the Late Night Flame. And I was the host. My buddy, who's actually my co-executive on this new talk show, Caleb Brookman, we worked together on it. We did 3 episodes, 3 per month, starting January 2020. Our last one was a couple days before COVID and the world shut down. So unfortunately, that put an end to that endeavor for just a little bit, because I was like, well, if I ever get the chance to do it again, I'll just try to do it on a grander scale. And I've been fortunate enough now to do so right now with the new talk show called Late Nights in Chicago.
And that for the debut episode right here at the Studebaker Theater in the Fine Arts Building downtown,
Yes.
you picked a grand place to do it.
Yes.
This place is well over 100 years old, I believe.
It is,
It's
yeah.
an old building, but she's been brought back to life just in the last few years, completely renovated. So this is a great spot, and why not Chicago for a talk show, right?
Exactly. We don't
Oprah
have
did it for a
one.
long time.
Yes, exactly. You know, and there hasn't been a late night talk show.
Right.
Essentially, everything's been daytime so far in the city. So, you know, New York has a few, Los Angeles has a few, Chicago doesn't have that late night scene. And so I thought it would be perfect to bring one to Chicago. So hopefully Chicago and everyone in the Midwest region gets excited for something that they can be a part of, because we will be doing a live studio audience at every show. Our first show is right here at the beautiful Studebaker Theater.
Yeah, let's step out here for a second. Look at this place. It's beautiful. How can people get involved with getting tickets for this event?
Yes, so they can visit either latenightsinchicago.com or go to fineartsbuilding.com to buy tickets for the first episode, which is our pilot. We're still working on our other episodes, but we'll plan to have information on that out shortly on our social media pages.
And people could watch this also on
YouTube. So
right?
all our episodes are taped, and they'll be taped and edited to YouTube. We'll post it on our YouTube channel, Late Nights in Chicago.
So I know that Kimmel was probably a life-altering experience, seeing like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Or I could try to do this. I know you just mentioned some of the things, but what are you most excited about for this event to do in front of a live audience here in your hometown?
Just talking. I love talking. Obviously, as an announcer, most of my job is talking, but I just like to get to know people a lot as well, too. I'm very social, and so being able to sit behind the desk, have a guest next to me on the couch, and just get to know their story, and hopefully other people learn more about them as well, too. I think that serves the purpose of the show, is good people, meeting good people, knowing about good people. So.
And what kind of guests are you looking to talk to? Are you talking to celebrities, teachers, just Chicagoans in general? What's the gamut?
Well, we want to have a wide variety of guests, but I'll actually be focusing on the social influencer side of people. So your TikTokers, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, that realm of social media. I feel like a lot of those people have the same amount of influence as the A-lister, B-listers.
If not more.
If not more,
Mr.
exactly.
Beast is a pretty popular
Yes,
guy, right?
yes. And oddly enough, Mr. Beast has only been on a talk show once, but that wasn't like him the main focus of that interview block. So we plan to have a lot of social media influencers on the show. That's our primary guest focus, but we plan to have a wide variety of guests as well too. We'll get actors, musicians, comedians, but I think a lot of these shows overlook the aspect of the social media influencer, the YouTubers, the Twitch streamers, TikTokers. They're very famous nowadays in society, and a lot of them don't get the opportunity to broadcast their platform, whether it's on a live setting or not. And so I plan to do that with Late Nights in Chicago, have them on, get to know them a little bit more, and why they're so big on those platforms.
It's smart of you too, because really the social media network is massive, almost bigger than anything else. So you want people to talk about this show and how great this show can be. You want them talking about it all over social media. So with that, what is your social media handle, just for folks who want to follow you and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, so follow the show, Late Nights in Chicago. So on Instagram, it's at Late Nights in Chicago. On Twitter or X, it's Late Nights in Chi. There's a Facebook page as well, Late Nights in Chicago. So please follow it. And then if you just want to follow me on Instagram, it's just Jeremiah Paprocki. And then on Twitter, it's Jay the Announcer.
And we can see you at Wrigley Field coming here in April.
Yes,
before
yes.
then, but the show, what's the day of the show?
Our first show here at the Studebaker Theater is on March 24th of this year. Showtime is at 8 p.m. And like I said, you can get tickets at latenightsinchicago.com or at fineartsbuilding.com as well.
All right, well, you heard it from the man himself. Jeremiah, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time to chat with me.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, that was Jeremiah Paprocki, and here at the Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago, tombarnerchicago@gmail.com. If you have a story from the 78 suggestion, or hit me up at the website storiesfromthe78.com. We'll see you guys later.